Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Rahul and I'm back with another Python tutorial video today. The topic for this video is using Airtable as a CMS for your Alexa skill. So if you've used Airtable before, you know that it can be used as a spreadsheet or as a CMS mechanism for several things, and it does provide an API for to access the data. So today we'll have a look at how we can make use of those APIs and fetch content and use it in our Alexa skill. So let's see how it's done. To get started, head over to github.com/dabblelab and locate the template that we are going to be using today. So we're going to be using template number 56. So just open it up and keep it on the side, and I'll show you where we are going to use it in the next step. Next, open up the Alexa developer console. And create a new skill. I'll name this skill template 56 since that's what the name of the template is. And you can select any English language from here. The template supports all English languages. And from here we're going to be selecting Alexa hosted Python because this is a Python template, and click on create skill. On the next screen over here, what we need to do is click on import skill, and over here you see that we can import a skill from a GitHub repo. So that's what we are gonna do. We will go back to the GitHub repo that we opened earlier and copy the URL from there. So just simply copy the git URL and go back to this screen and click here, paste the URL here and click on import. So while our skill is being deployed, let's just open up Airtable, and you can do that by going to airtable.com. And if you don't have an account already, you can just sign up for a free account, because that's what I did a while back. So I guess once you reach this page, what you need to do next is to create a base to start with. So you'll see an option with a plus sign over here which says add a base. Just click on it, and you'll see three options. So select the third option which says start from scratch, and give this base any name. So I'll just name it Alexa base. Okay, so I've given it a name. Now you can see that it has a table which is called table 1. So I'll quickly rename the table as well, and I'll call it Alexa table. Apart from this, we'll just we'll have a look at the things it contains and what we need and what not. So it contains several columns for name, notes, attachments and all of that, but we don't need all of them. So I'll quickly just delete the fields that we don't need and keep the ones that we need. So right now we'll only need two fields. The first one would become the ID, or it will be used for the unique identifier for each field value. So I'll just name it key, and you can select the type of the value that this columns in this row rows in this column can contain. So I'll simply use something like we have a string type, long string type and all of that, a phone number, email ID. So if you are looking for those kind of data sets, you can use these these things. But what we are going to be using is we're going to be using a formula, and inside a formula we're going to be using a formula called as record ID. So the record ID would give a unique ID to each key. So that's what we need, so that we can identify each of these rows with a unique key. Okay, so now that our key is is given over here, we'll change the name of the other column, and I'll change it from notes to value, and the type of this one would be a single line text, would be just some basic string. And also I'll just add a value to the first one. So the example that I'm going to be demonstrating will be using this value as the welcome message. So let's give it a welcome message. I'll say welcome from the Airtable, right? So let's see, I've given it a string value. Now what we are going to try to do is fetch this value from our Alexa skill. Now let's go back to the Alexa skill, and it should be deployed by now. So yes, it is deployed, and let us have a look at the code section of the skill. So if you see over here, in this template, which is specifically for Airtable, I've defined a few things in the launch request handler. So you can change all of this, according to your wish. You can just pick up this entire, block of code and put it anywhere that you like. You can you can take it out of all the handlers if you want to use them universally, or if you want to use them, specific to each handler, you can use it as I'm using it over here. So let's have a look. First thing we need is an API key. So how will we get an API key? To do that, open a new tab and go to airtable.com/account. If you go to this page, you will see that you'll reach this page with the account overview, and if you scroll down, you will see a key over here. So simply copy the key from here, go back to your code, and just paste the key as a string value. So I pasted the API key. The next thing we need is a base ID. So remember, we gave our skill a base name. So now we need to get the ID of this base. So how do we do that? For that, we will again open up another URL, and now instead of airtable.com/account, we'll go to airtable.com/API. And on this page, just scroll down and select whatever your base name is. So I will select the Alexa base from here. And once you've selected that, you can see that there should be a so you see at the top that it says the ID of this base is this. So simply copy this ID and go back to your code, and once again paste this ID as a string. But apart from the API key, make sure that with each value after this, you just add a / with it. Actually, not a / like the same /, I'm forgetting it's a forward or backward one, but it's the same one that you use in a URL, because it will be, this value will be appended to your URL. So just make sure that you add a / to it before it. The same goes for table name, and this time we don't need to do anything fancy. We'll just need to see what the name of the table was, and in our case the name was Alexa table. So that's what we are gonna name it. I'll name it Alexa table, and again add the / in the front. The last thing that we need is a resource ID, and the resource ID in our case is actually the key for the value that we are trying to fetch. So I'll copy the key value from here on, and I'll paste it over here. Now we have all the things that we need. So I'll quickly explain what is happening over here. So if you see in this example, what we are doing is we are simply making a get call. We are using the request library in Python to make this get call. There are several other ways, like there is a library called the Python Airtable wrapper library, but I tried using that, but it didn't work out. So I'm using a basic method which uses the request module. So what I've done here is this is a simple get request call, and inside this this is the URL that is being formed that we are going to use, and actually this is the final URL that we are going to use, and these are the headers. So inside the headers we will be passing the API key as the bearer token, and apart from this, these are the only headers that we are passing. Apart from this, we are passing the URL that will be made up of all this information that we just added over here. And when we get a response from this, we will parse the response as a, it will be a JSON response. So we'll parse it and we'll convert it into a dictionary. And once it is converted into a dictionary, all we need to do is reference the field value inside the field variable. So once you reference it the right way, you'll get the required speech output. So I'll now click on the deploy button, and once this skill is deployed, I'll quickly test it out and show you how the value is being fetched from Airtable. So let's wait, and now the deployment is done. I'll open up the test tab. So it said there was a problem. Let's quickly open up and see what the problem was. One thing I forgot to check is the name of...
There was a problem with the requested skills response.
One thing I forgot to check is the invocation name, and I believe it will be change me. Yeah, so let's quickly change it back to template 56. And this is a problem that even you might face while you are building skills using our templates, that after you deploy a template, you don't really consider changing the invocation name because that doesn't come to the mind, but that's very important because the invocation name is it defaults to change me. So just make sure that you change the invocation name. And once that is done and this is built, we will be running the skill again. And actually we don't need to see the CloudWatch logs right now, but let's also have a look and see what went wrong. Okay, it's not showing us. Let's leave it aside. The build is successful. I'll go back to the test tab again. I'll reload the page, and I'll simply say open template 56.
There was a problem with the requested skills response.
And it again shows me an error. No worries, we'll see what is causing the error and try and resolve it. Let me see if I missed out on something. I don't really think so that we've missed out on anything, but let's see in the logs what's the issue. For some reason it's not showing me the logs. It says the logs are not in this region or that region. I've checked 2 regions and this is the 3rd region that I am checking out. Let's see. Should ideally show the logs over here. Very strange, it's not showing me any logs.
Welcome from the Airtable.
Okay, so I guess that was some temporary issue. And now that you can see that the skill is actually loading content from the Airtable and we see a welcome message from Airtable. So I'll go back to the same Airtable and change this value. And now I'll change this message to, okay, something else. So I'll say this example works, right? So I'll go back to the skill again. I'll reload this. Actually, I'll run it on my physical Alexa device so you can hear it. Alexa, open template 56.
There was a problem with the requested skills response.
Okay.
There was a problem with the requested skills response.
So it's giving an error, but I don't really think the error is related to... I think it has got something to do with... Okay. I don't know, something takes time in loading, I guess.
There was a problem with the requested skills response.
Okay, I see one log over here and everything over here is fine. Alexa,
This example works.
so yeah, I think once we change things in the Airtable, this just takes a bit of a time to load that. So as I'll keep these errors as it is and not edit them out, and the reason for that is that even if you face these errors, I want you guys to know that it's not something exclusive and you can have these kind of issues, but don't worry about it. I think it has just got something to do with the loading time, and once that is done, the responses will load and will work in the similar manner as we can see in front of our eyes over here. So yeah, that's how you can use Airtable as a CMS and fetch values from it in an Alexa skill. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video, and if you did, then don't forget to hit the like button, and if you have not subscribed to our channel yet, then make sure you hit the subscribe button as well. That's it from from my side for this video. I'll see you in the next one. Till then, goodbye.